Hello all you Bricklinkers, I wanted to make a video on how to use the Bricklink wanted list to find the parts you want and the auto finder to buy said parts. I quite like the new update released June 2016, but it takes a little getting used to, especially if you've been using the old interface for a long time or if you're brand new to Bricklink. I apologize up front, there's going to be a lot of information. You're going to be yelling at your computer for me to get on with it. I'll try to create an index in the video description that will link to specific sections in the video, so check down there if you don't want to hear me ramble for the entire video. So, on with it. Part 1 is the wanted list. If you're new to Bricklink and you're wondering how to buy stuff, this is the first step. There are several ways to create a wanted list. The first kind is to either piece together a set or replace a bunch of pieces from a specific set. The second kind is to create a list manually by finding specific parts and adding them to the list. The third kind I'm just going to get into very briefly. It's using other LEGO tools like LEGO Digital Designer and LDraw to design your own mock and then buy the parts for said mock. And once you have your list, step 2 is buying the parts you want. So, the first wanted list I'm going to talk about is the full or partial set inventory. So, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the set in question. So, up at the top of any Bricklink page, you'll see a search box. Make sure it's either selected on all items or catalog items, and then just type in your search. If you know the set number, that's great. You can just type in the number of the set, or if you're not sure, maybe you have an idea of the name of the set, just type that in. So I'm looking at for some sort of pirate island set that I had when I was a kid. So I've searched for island. I'm going to click here on set to list just the sets. And then I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to look at all the thumbnails. You can also click on a subcategory. So you can click on Pirates here, or you can click on Pirates 1. Now Pirates 1 is like the subcategory. Pirates 1 will be the first set of pirate sets. Or Pirates will list just all pirate sets. So if I click on Pirates 1 here, this will be just a list of the first sort of evolution of pirate Lego. But I'm going to click back. The set I'm looking for is Shipwreck Island, so I'm going to click on that. Now this is the sets item page. You can see the number of parts in the set, the number of minifigs. You can see the items for sale. So this is people selling the hopefully complete set. You want to make sure when you're buying a set, make sure you read the description here, and right here it'll say incomplete if it's an incomplete set. So if you don't want an incomplete one, you can skip those. Yeah, you can also see the price guide. So here's just sort of a general idea of what it's sold for in the last 6 months and what it's currently going for. And there's also the set inventory, so you can see which pieces were in that particular set. Now, under My Wanted List, you'll see a link that says Add to My Wanted List. This is not the link that we want right now. If you click this, it will add this item as a one single item to a wanted list. That's not what we want. So if we click Part Out here, so you can see here it's auto-filled the Shipwreck Island into the Part Out into a wanted list form. You can see parts. There's 64 parts, 2 minifigures. I'll keep those. Some people prefer the tactile feel of the instruction booklet. I really don't care. You can Google LEGO instructions and the set number, or you can just get the instructions direct from LEGO website. So I'm going to leave that deselected. Now you can create a new wanted list, or you can add it to an existing wanted list. For my purposes, I'm going to create a new one. There's no real point to adding a bunch of different stuff to a single wanted list, which I will I'll kind of get into that in a minute. So it's going to show you exactly what is going into the set. Now, if you have a partial set, you can either modify it here or you can modify it after you've created the list. I prefer to modify it after I've created the list. But if you want here, you can change the quantities, like say you only want one of those and you want to exclude that. You can do that, and then it'll modify what's going onto the list. But I am going to leave it as default. Go all the way to the bottom here. So this is a little tricky. Sometimes there are multiple variations of certain parts, like the non-shooting cannon. I don't know if anyone had one of those, but I hated it. Luckily, this one defaults to the shooting cannon. This checkbox right here is exclude, so it's excluded the non-shooting cannon and whatever this is, and it's just including the standard shooting cannon, so that's good with me. Because screw those non-shooting hunks of junk plastic. So I'll click Add to Wanted List, and it says it was successful, so I'm going to click View Island. So here's a list of your island, list of all the parts you want. Now, as I mentioned before, I think this is a much better place to modify your quantities and delete parts. So this arch, I'm going to say I already have 2 of those, so I'll change that from 4 to 2. These cannonballs, they're going to get lost, so I need a whole bunch of those. So I'll change that. These coins on the sprue, probably the first thing everyone did when they opened it up was take the coins off the sprue, so might be hard to find. So I'm going to click, that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to click Select here. I'm going to click Save Changes, so that save saves the quantities. And then up here it says 1 selected. That's my coins. I'm going to hit the trash can. Sure you want to delete it. Yep. So the coins should be gone. And there is my completed list. So now this is the perfect segue to second kind of list, which is manually adding parts to your list. So I deleted those coins, so I want to find some individual coins. So I'm going to search for coin singular, and I'm going to look under parts, select part there. There's a bunch of different ones, and this coin one, this coin pattern one, the new one, I like those, so I'm going to click on that. You can see here it has color info. This one's only been produced in one color, flat silver. But if you look for other stuff, I'll show you in a minute. Some other pieces that have more colors. For now, I'm just going to click Add to my wanted list. I want 10 of them. 10. There we go. And any condition, I want to add to my island list. And I'm going to click Add to my wanted list. So now that part is on my island wanted list instead of the default coins. Now I'm going to show you. There's several different ways you can get to the catalog to sort of browse parts. You can either click up here on catalog or click on here to go directly to parts. You can see all the categories here, or you can go to shop and click catalog and then parts. Lots of ways to get here. So the list can seem a little daunting, but once you kind of get used to it, it's pretty easy. Some parts are a little hard to find, but right now I'm going to look for a plant. I'm gonna scroll through this list. I didn't have many plants when I was a kid, so maybe I'll pick this stem. So we'll go in here. So like I said before, under color info, now it's showing there's different colors in sets, and then the price guides for those different colors, stuff people have for sale. So maybe I'll choose some olive green for my island. So I'm going to click Add to my wanted list, and I'm going to select what was it? Olive green, olive. There we go. Olive green, and I want 6 of those. I want it to go on my island list, and I'm going to click Add to Wanted List. So now my wanted list, my island wanted list, should have the new coins and the new plant. Play on page 2. There's the coins, and there's the new plant. So that's my wanted list. So just briefly, I'm gonna touch on using other applications. There are a bunch of different ways to design mocks, and there's a bunch of ways to turn those mocks into part lists. This section was actually going to be way different, but while I was researching all of this, I noticed that they just added the feature that you can upload an LDraw or a Lego Digital Designer file directly to Bricklink. So I'm going to show you my weird spaceship. It is awesome. It's even over 100 studs long, so I'm going to submit it to September, where you can judge accordingly. Okay, so I go back to Bricklink. Under Want, you want to go to Upload, and you want to click here, or just drag a file here, but I'm going to click, and I'm going to find my spaceship. There it is. And then I'm going to click Verify. Oh, wait, I'm going to add it to a new wanted list. I'm going to call it Ship. Verify items. So here's all the items, hopefully, that were in my ship. I just decided that maybe it's not long enough. So I'm going to increase that to 300. Everyone's going to be totally jelly in my ship, and I'm totally going to get onto Brothers Brick with this one. So I've updated that. I'm going to view it. 300. So I'm finished with that list. So with those two completed, I'll move on to part 2, which is entitled Say Goodbye to Your Money. The first month after I discovered Bricklink, I spent more money on Lego than I did on rent. And I have such a kind and patient wife. So, that being said, try not to go all crazy. So, under Want, you're going to click Buy. We're going to pick both of these lists, the island and the ship. Over on the right here, you can see thumbnails of all of the items, including the new coins and the stems. And there's all my ship stuff. Oh, but I just remembered these yellow tiles I don't need because I just got a whole bunch of them from the Pick a Brick wall. So that I unchecked, and it's going to skip those. You can see Island 40 of 41. Okay, so now that that's updated, I'm going to click Find Stores. So this shows a list of stores that have items on these two wanted lists. Be very aware that this list is sorted by the number of unique pieces each store has in stock from my wanted list. This column right here, lots, this is the number of unique pieces from the wanted lists. different sellers will have vastly different prices for items. For example, and I don't mean to call anybody out, this dude right here, this dude is charging 123% of the Bricklink average price for my cannonballs. And that just seems like extortion. He's all like, you want to shoot these at your wife, don't you? Well, it's gonna cost you. Anyway, it can all balance out in the end. So let's move on. Right now, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna point out this button right up here. I'm gonna click it, and then I'm gonna click Start, and then I'm gonna talk about it. For me, this is the killer app that really sold me on Bricklink 2.0. It's not perfect by any means, but it's my favorite new feature. It's called the Auto Finder, and it finds a list of stores that can sell me all the parts on whatever wanted lists I feed it. It allows me to add all of those parts to my cart at the same time, and then it's just a matter of checking out with each individual store. Here's my list of stores that the Auto Finder came back with. You can see over on the left here, all of the items on my wanted lists have been assigned to a store. This particular list has a lot of stores on it. Different lists are going to give vastly different results here. Some lists may have a single store solution, some lists may be impossible. Some lists, like this one, may just be improbable. So you can see the total up here is $481. Now I know exactly why that number is so high, but for educational purposes, I'm going to investigate like I have no idea what's going on. So I'm going to scroll through this list. I'm going to find a store that is charging me lots of money. Maybe this one. Edit here. Oh, so this guy is selling orange 2x8 plates for $15, which is 1,200% over average. But if we extrapolate that means that the average price for these plates is still like over $1. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to click over here on Edit for my wanted list. And I'm just going to uncheck those plates. That's going to scale it way back. It's my awesome ship is going to be 6 parts now. There goes my brother's brick mention. And maybe after some deliberation, instead I just want to edit the list. So I'm going to click on Want. I'm going to click on Ship. I'm going to change that 300 to 10. Here we go. Click Save. Saved. You know, sometimes you just dream too big. So, yeah. So I'm going to go back to Buy here. I'm going to go Island and Ship. And I forgot to delete that part again. Click Find Stores. So again, here's the list of stores. I noticed a lot of international stores, and I decided I don't want my order to potentially be stuck on a boat. And I'm also racist against Habanarians, so I don't want any of my bricks to come from dirty, dirty Habanaria. So I'm going to click Store Filter. You can filter by region or by country. You can pick people that have a specific payment type or currency or minimum feedback. I'm just going to leave all that. Definitely going to check this one, show my favorited stores first. So any store that you click favorite on will show up at the top of this list if they have anything. I'm also going to exclude disliked stores from the results. The rest of the stuff I'm pretty much just going to leave. And I'm going to apply those filters. Now I'm only getting parts from stores in North America. You can see at the top is a store from my favorite list. So I'm just gonna click select on that one first. So these are the parts that this guy has. So if I click confirm, you'll see it's under selected stores now, and any of the parts that are in that store are no longer in this wanted list. Now I'm going to click Auto Finder again and start. Now I should point out the set I chose was not a good example of a set to buy through this method. This total is coming out to way more than just outright buying the set. I think it was 18 bucks from at least one store. So this method tends to work better for sets that weren't hugely popular or stuff that was limited run. You know, sets that might not be available on the cheap. A couple examples are the old monorail or UCS Millennium Falcon. It also really shines when you're looking for parts for a muck. This makes it easy to buy all the parts for your next project, large or small. So, all that being said, I'm just going to pretend that people want like $100 for this complete set and continue with the educating. So, this list looks much better than it did before. 5 stores I can handle. I'm going to check out a couple of these stores, so if I just click edit, I can see a breakdown of, you know, how many I'm buying from that store, the price and the difference from Bricklink average. Just click cancel, it'll leave it as is. Check out this one, same thing. There's my base plate, and there's my cannon. And if I want, if this guy had more available, I could even say, hey, I want more of those. But he doesn't have any more, so I'm just gonna click cancel. You can see here there are a couple of stores that are the parts I'm ordering are below the minimum buy. Usually when that happens, well, you can either just remove a store or, you know, after you've added them all to your cart, you can go into the store and maybe buy some other stuff. I usually have no problem in buying extra Lego. And when you're at this stage, you can also deselect a store. So maybe this store, I don't like their terms or something. You can at this stage you can click on any of the store names. I'll click on this one. Maybe I don't like this dude's terms or whatever. I don't know what they are, but just for example, I'm going to decide to deselect that one. So I click deselect. Are you sure? Okay. Now here's a list of all of the pieces that store was giving me, and here is a list of, you know, other stores that can provide those pieces. So I'm going to go, maybe I'll check out this one. No, that one doesn't have all the plates. And that one doesn't have all the plates either. Alright, well, nobody can do all the plates, so I'm just going to reselect this one. So I'll confirm that, and once again, all of my items are accounted for. So now that I got my final selection of parts for my wanted list, I'm going to click Add Selected to Cart. Now, one of these stores I had was under the minimum buy. Fortunately, it doesn't show it here, but if I click Checkout, it should tell me, yeah, minimum buy not met. So at this point, you just click Back to Shop. I'm going to go down to minifigures. Maybe he has some Legends of Chima. Awesome. So I'm going to add 2 of those to my cart. Now I'm going to check out, and I've reached the minimum buy, so now I can continue to check out. You can see all the other stores here are I still have items in the cart, so I can go to each of those and proceed to check out. And now the part of the video everyone's been waiting for. Blatant self-promotion. Earlier, I mentioned that you could show favorite stores at the top of your store list when you're searching. So here's how to add a store to your favorites. Go to a store, say store.buildingoutloud.com, and under Favorite Stores, click Bookmark this site, and click Favorite. And you can comment, "This is the best store in the world." Bookmark. Oh, you can't add yourself to your favorites. Anyway, buildingoutloud.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video.